as an assistant, if you remember, right? And I was good with that.
Start with some open comments from Coach.
No, I thought it was a really good spring for this team, and for what makes a good spring, I think it's if each individual can get better, and I thought we had a lot of guys do that, and certainly, you know, there's some schematic things that you look at, I think, in spring football, and we're able to do that, and introduce it to the players, and for them to understand it, it takes reps, and I think that, you know, this team started to define itself, whether it be leadership, you know, new roles that guys that played a lot take on, and so I think it was a good second phase of getting ready for the season. You know, I thought we got a lot done in the winter workout part of it. That's the first phase, and spring ball's the second. And now the kids need to focus in on finishing up this semester the right way and finals, and then get a chance to go home and come back, and right after Memorial Day we'll start our summer workout, and then get ready for camp. So it's I like what they've done to this point, and thought it was an overall good spring.
Looks like we don't have microphone holders, so.
Paul, the number of reps Jack Cohen and Corey Lyles are able to get today and throughout the spring, how much do you think that helped them progress and improve?
Well, I think it helps them a lot, and to their credit, you know, really both of them. Corey was here last year, but this is their first spring, and I thought, you know, they gave themselves a chance to get better by the, you know, the work they put in, the study, and as you saw tonight, and many of you came to every practice, it didn't always look pretty, but there's great learning. Even today with Jack, you know, if you're going to throw the ball away, you got to make sure it gets all the way out of bounds, and it's, you know, that one bothered him, which means I think he's going to learn from that, and so I thought both, it was really good for him.
Jeff? Well, how much growth did Biotish make from the beginning of spring to the close, and what areas did he take steps forward?
You know, I thought he had Ty had a really good spring, and I think probably that natural progression of, he understood what to do, and I felt like by the end of spring, he trusted it, and therefore was playing more, and I think when you do that, you can finish better, you can focus on technique a little bit more, so I thought that happened, and I thought he did a ton this spring. He got a lot of reps, you know, and you saw every one of those, and the way he approaches it, it's important to him. So he's going to take advantage of those reps. And you know, Tyler's not a guy that has really many wasted moments, and so it was really good. And at times I felt like he wasn't in his first spring. That's especially in the offensive line. There's so much, and I thought he did a really nice job this spring.
Well, Leon Jacobs didn't play tonight, but did he show you enough in the spring that you feel like he'll be a big part of rotation at outside?
He did, and you know, even though, you know, they probably got 15, 20 reps tonight, you know, in the practice component of it, and he showed up a lot in that, and so I'm excited for Leon and about Leon, and you know, there's a guy that would do anything for this team, and he did it. And you know, last year this time he's playing fullback, and they jumped in, and he had the injuries and is playing inside backer. But I think the outside's a really good fit for him. And I thought what he did and Tibbs did, and you know, we had talked about this. Leon came to me right when he came back from the bowl game, and I think he's a guy that is capable of having a really big impact on this team, and I'm excited for him to have that senior year that you're playing your best football, and he works, he's talented. It's I think he'll be a really big part of what we do defensively.
Jason?
Well, how impressive is Michael Dieter's versatility to play every position on the line, and is there a chance we could see him at left tackle this season?
Absolutely, there's a chance, right? I mean, I think that, you know, we've always kind of had the philosophy of get your best players on the field, And when there is versatility, then it allows, you know, maybe not just your best if you're an inside guy or an outside guy. And, you know, I think he said to me tonight, he goes, you know, I'm much more athletic than people give me credit for. You know, and it's, but he did look, you know, he didn't look out of place. How it's gonna shape out, just I really don't know, but it's good, and spring's a great time to work on those things, and we'll have camp, and different things will come up in camp, or we'll have to shuffle it, and we'll see, but I think it's whatever we need to do to get the best 5 on the field, and then you're developing your depth, and so the more guys can do, play different spots, whether it be right side, left side, center guard or tackle, it's helpful, no doubt.
Okay, we'll follow up on Leon. You mentioned the bowl game. Did you mean that he came to you guys after the bowl game and said, hey, if you need me at outside linebacker?
Yeah, he thought that, you know, and that's what he came in as, and he wanted to let us know that he's willing to do it, and would be excited about it, because you know, you also don't want to, you're always conscious of, you don't want to mess with a kid, but he brought that, and you know, we started him at inside because we wanted to see some of the younger guys and kind of where it was at, and we were so thin at the inside. But I thought he had a great approach to each day, and it was fun to be around. You know, he brought energy, and I think then he started, I think, getting a little bit of a feel and a niche, and confidence that came with that, and it just kind of kept fueling him, and it was he was fun to really. He was really good the last half of the spring. It was fun to see.
What do you think? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I'll let you go next. In what ways do you think Shaw and James complement each other, and how far do you think they came this spring?
You know, I think they do complement each other, and yeah, I think they're very different styles, but they both have the ability to run inside and be physical, and I think are capable of a big runs. And I think, you know, I'm anxious to see how Taiwan comes off of the off-season surgery, and so we've got some depth there, and they just got to keep growing and keep working. But I think, you know, we've got guys that have played. Their role's going to be different than any role they've had to this point, but I like the group, you know, I like the way they approach it, and yet they're, you know, I feel like they're still young, you know, they've got to keep progressing.
What does the move to end do for Rand?
What's that?
What does the move to end do for Rand?
You know, I think it at first it added more to his plate. You know, you're seeing different blocks and more blocks. You know, so he had to work at more, he had to get out of his comfort zone. And yet I thought that as he did that and then got comfortable with it, I think it frees him up, you know, and the physical, what his physical strengths are and what he goes against. I think it plays to the end spot pretty well for him. And certainly, kind of like with Connor, you know, we've got guys that could bump in if you needed to, but I think it was a really good spring for Garrett. I thought it was a good spring for Isaiah as well. You know, those two got a lot of work, and that's a little bit the luxury with Alec and Connor. You know, and Chico was already out, but those guys have played a lot of football, so they didn't need as many reps. They needed work and they needed to improve things, but as far as when we were playing, Isaiah and Garrett got a ton of work, and it was good for them because we've got to build some depth there, certainly.
Anything else for Coach?
What can you say about Garrett Groshek's improvement over this spring, especially today and all the reps that he got today?
Yeah, Garrett's done a great job, you know, from when he came in last year, and you know, kind of went to him right before spring ball, and you know, we knew he was a really good athlete, and we're trying to figure out what was the spot, and I think that the tailback has been good for him, and there's a guy that puts in a ton of time, and he's smart, and he's always up in Coach Settle's office. He wants to be the best he can, And he's got some athleticism, he's got some size to him. So it was fun to see him this spring and see him develop and grow. And there's a lot that goes into that position, and particularly, you know, trying to find maybe could he be a third down back. And so it was, you know, he put himself in the mix pretty quickly, pretty neat.
Thanks, Coach.